It says click me to start streaming, so I click it.
Click it good. Do.
No, I do
But
the
it
bare
says to
minimum.
click it, not hit it.
I do the bare minimum.
Move ahead.
Don't make this weird.
It's not
This is a
too late.
professional relationship that the two of us have. And now we have a fresh session of Rescue at Raxis. Last time, the party probably don't fucking remember what happened, because 7 days is a lot to keep in the head, I guess.
In quarantine, yes.
But basically you
We-
had a
we
big
went through-
throwdown with quite a lot of orcs, Tanarooks, and an orc shaman that was specifically dry. Along with some fun critical hits.
Especially.
Like Castalia getting hit by a fucking tree fired at high speed.
Yes. That hurt.
That was pretty good.
Especially after the dungeon master pointed out, oh, don't worry, they can't hit for shit.
There's a specific reason I did that. It's try to encourage...
Yeah, the first one missed.
Yeah, it's to encourage the dice to try better. I'm
First
dropping
one
the
was a
neg to get a
gravy
positive
shot.
response later. It's very common. But anyway, it's the immediate aftermath of that. You're still surrounded by many corpses that have yet to start oozing correctly. You also have your two rescued knights, who are thoroughly covered in these horrible rune marks, mainly abyssal, which have had interesting effects with magic in the air. And it's all on to you guys. What are you going to do?
Well, as I
Sleep.
mentioned last time, I was gonna check around to see what was behind the rocks.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
Slowly to make sure that I don't get a bolt right in the face. So I'm actually
I'm just gonna let him do this because
I'll have to do this slowly as well, just so Roll20 will respond to reveal the area instead of draw over it, like it's doing now. I clicked it, I clicked reveal area, it shows an eyeball, but yet it makes me draw darkness.
Yeah, I
There
see
we
a
go.
little black. Yeah, there it goes.
Yep,
I love it when that happens.
yep. Anyway, what
I
you
did,
see
ogre.
is, not this ogre, he's gone now. It's
Get
just,
out of here.
there we go. And what you do see is, let's get some pinging here, a fair amount of muck, detritus, and spoil hills. Right here.
when you say spoil hills.
That is a digging term for those who have actually picked up a shovel. That's just lots of soil and dirt and stone mounded up.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Like if you were digging something. Malgurin, you know digging.
Do
It's-
I?
It's the one
You're
thing you
poor.
are near average at.
So, are orcs known for digging down their shit?
Who here would
As in
try to
that-
claim some knowledge of orkiness?
I'll go for it.
Anyone you want to consult with, maybe?
Yeah, I'll probably ask Malkarn if he knows if they have a tendency to make lavatories.
This is an important question here, Malgurin. Do you know shit?
I mean, if he asks me that, I'm gonna go yes. Everyone poops, Cornelius.
Yeah, but do they just go into the forest or do they actually bother making latrines? Is the question.
Doesn't orc shit in the woods. Next time on Rescue Raxis. God damn it.
You know what? Just roll intelligence.
Oh God, no! Not like this. Not like this. Not like this.
Not this, no.
Not like this.
You just look at him and think, why the fuck would he ask me that if I know this? What about my appearance and my presence makes him think that I would know anything about how an orc shits? I assume they have an anus. I think I've stabbed a sword up there before.
That's what I said. I was like, yes. Like I literally give them the whole yes, Cornelius. Everybody. Poops.
But you can't even focus on the question as much as, why is he asking me this? Why is it me specifically? What about me makes him think that I would know about this?
Mm.
But in your case, you can roll history with advantage. Because there's
Who
something
can?
twigging at your instincts, Malgurn.
My shit sense is tingling. Hey.
Oh,
These rocks are old. These rocks are fairly natural. But they do not belong here. Like, as you look at the arrangement, they've sat here for a long time. Like, we are talking a good few many zeros attached to the end of some number.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't always sit here. But they're arranged to look natural. Now, a proper eye can see that there are specific layouts here of why we're supporting each other and how I guess here, which nature wouldn't give a fuck about. There'd be a lot more spillage, a lot more erosion. This outcropping has been made, although you can't discern any real pattern to it.
Never mind the shit. Like these rocks, they're not supposed to be here. Someone put them here a long time ago.
Someone put the rocks.
Yeah, they're not. This is not natural. And I start pointing at things in the ground. You know, I don't know if they're gonna be like, yeah, see, look, because the soil here is all wrong. And,
But why?
This rock's from an older strata than this one below it, and that's not how that works.
yeah, just a bunch of nonsense that nobody
No, it
but me
is
would understand.
for you. It is proper scientific geological deduction for a dwarf.
Yeah, but I'm sure
Like if you had
everyone else in
another
the party is
another
like,
dwarf here, he would concur that you are fucking on the mark.
Yeah,
To the rest of them, though, these are stones.
yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna
what
take
does it mean?
everything you I'll take everything. Sorry, go on.
Although Zarzul might also feel that he's correct. Kobold's no digging. Whether this kobold does is a different matter. He's weird.
When I hear Castalia ask that, that's a wonderful question. I want to thank you for asking it.
instead of
Really be
the
wondering about is what are we all doing here? Just immediately go to politician mode. Like,
Can I just point out that it probably means they're hiding something underneath it or marking something? Which would also explain why they're digging, because they're trying to get under it for whatever's under it.
Malgurin, you said you hadn't thought of that.
all right, Rain. Here's a shovel.
I don't believe I have the speciality that you do.
I don't even think we have a shovel.
It's not even digging she's talking about, it's just manual labor.
Zazzle was looking for any gaps in these stones that might allow access.
I feel like during this conversation about manual labor, Cornelius would slowly become more and more distant.
Yeah, he is not volunteering for this.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
as
just
you
a
And,
Yeah,
and
there he
Rain just
goes. He moved
reaches
away,
out and
yeah.
grabs a hold of him and stops him from going anywhere.
I mean, Zarzul, you notice that there is less of this ogre corpse sticking out of the ground than the ground level.
Aha!
And as you come around the corner, skipping over the spoil heap, yes, they have been digging a hole here. Probably should have just walked
I
around and
found
taken
the
a look
hole.
before assuming.
All right, let's go check out this.
You
Okay.
think Zazzle thinks like that far ahead?
The Gratz gives a slightly awkward wave at Castalia as he sits there with the two hostages that were just kind of abandoned.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
maybe we should get them back to camp. Get them into some dry, and then we could go investigate the hole afterwards. It's not so far back to camp anyway.
I could do with a break.
I think we all could.
It's an
Yes,
easy
we
enough
do
trudge
it.
back.
Yeah.
Bartress and your two hobgoblins are still there. Bartress is getting real fucking deep, like he's nearly knuckle deep in a nostril.
Oh God.
Whoa!
This hard-
My
this
brain was
point-
itching. Think I got an idea going. Oh, there it is, as it comes out on his finger and he flicks it in the distance. What a good one.
Fascinating. We're just gonna take a short rest, but
I will keep a lookout, as I have been doing.
Good work.
See, mate? I earn my wage.
Yes, I'm very happy that you were here for keeping an eye on the wagon. It was, well, as you can see on me and my compatriots.
Yeah,
Quite
you look
scrappy.
like shit. Could have done with a big guy. He puts his flabby hands onto his hips. Looks off into the distance. If only you had someone big, tough, famous, handsome, and big brain. As he runs his fingers over his scalp, smearing mud trails on it because he didn't realize he was just fooling around the dirt earlier.
I'm sure there's some mucus and shit on there too. Oh, lovely. He makes his own hair gel.
It's not working.
Doesn't have hair.
Yeah.
So you bibby on down, it'll be fine. I've got this.
How about you, Yeoman Frennick? Anything?
We'd like to express our regrets if we weren't there to assist, sir.
No, I'm happy that you were here, so we did not have to worry about the security of the wagon.
As they look to see if Kagratz is actually injured along with Castalia, they agree. Inwardly.
Yeah.
If those two if those two got hurt badly, then it must have been hell.
It's like, we're all pretty bloody here.
Except for one. Actually,
Yeah,
two. I
yeah.
don't think Zarzul took a single hit.
Actually, yeah,
I seem,
come to think of it, shit.
yeah, I seem to be 1 hit point down, I think. Yeah, just one.
But the
Rain
dog.
got a little bit of damage, but not too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, there was certain circumstances of our fight that made it impossible for me to properly assist.
Ah. Well, sort of scratches the back of his neck and all. It happens to most of us, one time or another, sir. Think nothing of it.
Cornelius is gonna remember that, but he's gonna let it slide for now.
What was that about? Premature casting.
Okay, so we'll be taking a short break and go back to the...
And of course you hear something you've heard familiar now anytime someone goes near the carriage. Ah! As Nedry locks eyes with the new arrivees. Well, I'm feeling better.
Oh, that's good.
Now that I see them. What the fuck?
That is more of an accurate question than you might realize.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I am happy not knowing. But is it contagious?
I do not believe so, no.
Not unless we develop a case of orcs.
There's quite a lot of them out there, miss.
Undead orcs?
Probably. There's a lot of dead ones. I imagine some get back up again, angry.
Then let us not worry about it until that's a problem.
I'm pretty much saying it is a problem, but sure, okay.
An immediate problem.
In any
Alright.
case, it's...
I'm just gonna sit here and try to ignore the fact that I can feel that itching as he points to the empty space.
Ah, yes, I do believe I heard of us the symptom before. I do believe they call them phantom pains.
Thought that was a low-level necromancer spell.
Well, it might have been from where the name originated.
Alright, I need to take a load off here. And back down into the dark and cramped. That was a nasty one.
Mhm.
I'm assuming that was Kagratz.
Yeah. You can tell because while he speaks in my fake deep voice, he also says more words, clearer, than Bartrus does. Bartrus is all volume and nothing else. So yes,
Speak like Gronk.
you all get your time for your short rest here. There is fucking nothing going on this bit of road. And the weather did clear up a bit. Still nasty. Deep-doo, deep-doo.
Come on, game.
One.
I'll take that.
Man, he's good. Those were all congrats' hit dice there, Malgern.
Yeah, fuck off. What is with all the... We all rolled a 1. What the hell? I'm calling shenanigans.
I get 22 HP back. I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same here.
I literally spent half my hit dice for 20.
Alright, Pufflesworth is healed.
Oops.
No, I only rolled 3. We'll roll 1 more. There we go. So then I get half of them back.
One more for the road. Do you know, I'm all the way back up to max with 2 hit dice.
It's almost like she wasn't in the thick of the fighting.
I can't wait till it's not her birthday anymore so I can say certain things.
Remember when you got hit by a cow, Malgern?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a tree trunk, so I don't know if I have a right to complain, but yeah.
I think it did about the same amount of damage.
That cow in the distance is getting bigger.
And yeah, after a few little bits of chat back and forth on duties and the fact that, you know, there's no concern, but just don't cast spells around them, you return to the rocks.
Yeah. Also, while we are having the rest, I offer the knights. Well, when we put them in a bit better place to lay down, if they want a change of clothes, so they don't have to lay in their armor.
Who was our injured knight again?
That would be. Let's see what's
Yes,
his name.
indeedy. They had names.
Yes, you said it
Hennig-
earlier, but
Hennig
couldn't-
Ferris. Ferris.
Hennig and Ulis.
I thought we only had one.
Nope, you've got
No, we
two.
get two.
Ah.
A lady and a man.
The lady.
Hennig has not been
No,
communicative
no,
because...
not them. The injured one, the one we had before.
Nedry.
Losing his leg.
Just Nedry. It was Nedry Padfoot, but he's given up on that title.
Nedry, do you know these two?
No, ma'am.
So they aren't from your regiment.
Oh, no, remember him as a sellsword.
Ah. Alright, my information is my guide.
It's good to get the connections, yeah, but yeah, he was from a bunch of mercs that were camped out alongside you guys, and then that's when the blight happened. Also, let's up the fan speed, sadly, because 63 degrees is too much for this computer.
That's a shame.
Yeah, but like I mentioned, I offered them some change of clothes if they didn't want to be in there. Probably rather gross plate armor at the moment.
Well, that's the thing. Do you help them? Like, they are happy to accept something clean,
Yeah.
but then
Yeah.
comes the yelps. Like, the armor is very ramshackle and comes away. The cloth, however, the fabrics are very much
Yeah,
stuck
they
to them.
probably need some help.
Those are going to need cleaning as soon as possible. Otherwise, we're going to deal with infection. And at this point, we've got no way of dealing with infection.
Little bro. That's, magic. But, I mean, one
Doesn't
of you
work
probably
on
knows
that.
lesser restoration.
What level?
When we started trying to use magic on them, we got blown away.
Oh, yeah.
Or it hurt them, either or, neither
Yeah.
of which is appropriate.
What level is lesser restoration?
I think it's
Yeah, that's the
two.
second
That's
level.
level
It's
two.
actually
Yeah, it's
covered
outside, yeah.
Well, Gurren,
When
whatever
I
you're
tried
thinking
to
about,
use,
it's coming in clear as
Cure
day.
wounds, that blew me away.
Yes,
Could
it
always
does
press
appear
the-
that laser restoration is magic.
You could prestidigitate off to at least make it clean.
Take an inspiration.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Does
seriously, Malgurin, you've got
prestidigitate.
yourself an inspiration.
Oh, okay. I thought you were joking.
For having a moment that dumb, I'll allow it.
Yeah.
As everyone's talking about the cause and effects, and he's just standing off to the side thinking, yes, Lester Restoration, that is magic.
Yeah. I know
It's
it's a
us-
big dig at my character, but totally worth it.
It's just how little you give a shit about these people.
Oh, yeah, actually, that was a good point. Does kind of with lesser restoration, kind of remove some of the stains from them?
Prestidigitation can.
I was gonna say that
Yeah.
even I know that prestidigitation.
Well, it's more if they're seeming to be hurt by it.
Well, you have noticed cantrips are not picked up by it.
Yeah, but one thing might be like if it's right on them, for instance, like there might only be a certain field from which they attract, but it might be once you're getting in close contact.
Well, luckily you can without touching.
Alright,
But
well,
yeah.
I'll try and see if I can.
Yeah, you're able to
prestidigitate
clean
some
them
of
up.
And if that worked, then I would start helping.
It's just, as Kagrash just reaches over to scoot Nedry against the edge along with Hennig. Modesty curtain put up. Gotta give a lady a decency and all. Yeah, Rain, as you're helping her, is everywhere. It is all over her.
Oof.
Not on her back, however. It's all down the front. Or even noticing, like, the back of the arms are also fine. And the back of the legs.
Huh.
Yes, so they're probably held down, and then the top of them was carved into.
Well, it depends. Where is it on Hennig?
Well, as Hennig gets helped out, and he's still very quiet. But he's not resisting or anything out there. He's actually cooperating a bit. For him, it's the same thing of just all down the front.
Okay. So the effect doesn't matter based on what side it's on.
The downside is there's a moment of male sympathy
Because we tried.
because it's all down the front.
Oh God!
Mm.
How much psychic damage do I take?
About 6 inches.
Oh.
But yeah,
That sounds like
it's
you're
horrible.
overestimating it a bit.
It's just horrible looking. On both of them. They have been... What's the right word for it? Like, constructively mauled.
Hmm.
I'm not sure constructively.
Well, there was an intent behind this. They weren't just ripped and torn, but it's been thorough. And I mean, it did have an effect. But yeah, they are very grateful for a nice fresh tunic that they have not been sitting in for days.
Yeah.
Comfortable trousers that are not matted with blood.
Yeah.
And other things.
And also
Right.
during the rest, they have of course also offered something to eat and drink in small portions at a time.
Yep. Yeah, don't worry, sir. We can keep an eye on them.
I appreciate that.
We'll also do what we can with the armor. Like, some of the straps have rotted through, but some of it's serviceable.
Good to hear. We'll be going back and investigate what we're doing around the rocks.
Alright. We're going to bring ourselves in a little in off the road, I think. Just out of sight. But we'll be same sort of position.
Alright, good thinking. If
Good hunting,
anything,
sir.
Of course. And of course, if anything happens, I hand over one of the shells we have, in case you don't want to in case you need to contact us discreetly, you could use this to contact Rain.
All right, then. Yes. Trying to remember. Did you have both shells? Did you not give one to John?
And one to John.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
we
but
gave
of
one to
three.
John.
Yeah,
River
there were
free?
3, you know.
Yes, of course. But
Yeah.
you only Hag and the 2 Onis. Yes. Got to refresh my own memory on that one.
That's why
So
we
you
kept
turn on
the-
back, and now we're back here on the map. It's like nothing even happened, but you've got more number.
Number go up.
Yeah. For some who use their channel divinity, they've got it back.
I mean, I got my Sleet Storm back because might as well just use my Arcane Recovery.
Alright, so they were digging a hole.
Which is now partially filled in with large ogre.
It won't be much of an issue. Right, Malgern?
And I'm trying to act tough even though I'm bleeding. Yeah, no, what crushed him?
Well, you had a short rest. You know, you're fine.
Okay, yeah, that's right. We did have a short rest.
Yeah,
so,
you've stopped bleeding because you sat down for an hour. That's how that works.
Yes. So yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, once you sit down and just let all the blood flow out of you, you will eventually stop bleeding.
Yeah. It's like in
We
Metal
should
Gear Solid
probably-
2 and 3. Whenever you just lay down while you're bleeding, eventually you'll stop bleeding.
I mean, it's what Malgern does when he gets a concussion. Just take a nice long nap.
Always feel sleepy
You
after a
should
big
also
blow
see
to the
that-
head.
Yeah. But yeah,
We should also see what things were in the pockets of that orc shaman. There might be something important.
That is true.
So,
Hopefully, it's still there when we get back.
I just like how there is no actual investigation because the greedy one who goes for everyone's pockets is currently occupied.
Not occupied.
But you walked off to the phone.
Just no, that was my mom got that.
Okay.
Well, let's investigate the orc shaman then.
We'll say he gives you advantage. He's helping you check. He wasn't actually good at it. Just for fun. So roll again.
Yep.
He's helpful, but he's distracting.
I'm about
Both Castalia and Zarzul are just taken in by the size of this lad.
it's the shininess. It's
Yep.
the shininess trigger the horde sensation.
Obviously, we're looking at it, and then we look at each other and we're like, I'm not touching that. You touching that? No, I'm not touching that.
Touch
you touching
it.
that? No.
And then fucking Rain elbows you two aside because he could have something in his pockets. But as you put your hand on him, it goes through. This guy
What?
is dry. Like you put
Mr. He's
you
so
put some
dry.
pressure on, and you break through what seems like just a compaction of ash. And you now know your hand is inside this orc.
okay. Oh,
I'm
wow.
glad I didn't touch it.
Yep, I'm just kind of looking like you've got to be kidding me. I've spent more time in semi-dead people.
Congrats reaches over with forefinger and thumb and just pinches your wrist and helps slide your hand out.
Uh,
Oh, that's nasty.
I think that's an understatement.
As for what's in his pockets, there is, of course, his unholy symbol. It's different looking. It is just a wad of tissue. Like, you look at this, and it's hard to piece together what it is. It's not a symbol defining a deity or anything from the Orc Pantheon. You've seen some of the symbols when you were searching the books in the temple and all. This is clumps of bone, tooth, sprigs of hair, and a wad of meat that have just been dried, burnt, compacted. like it's been crushed repeatedly in the hand until it is set and almost looks petrified. Which you at least know is different from the other symbols you've seen from the orcs, which are more Baphomet inspired.
Yeah.
As for the rest of his stuff, well, there's some nibbles that were people at some point. Now they're snacks. Toes, fingers, chunk of hand, a bit of thigh bone.
I don't think we're going to be eating those.
No.
Yeah, as one of you... How do I say this? Do we want to see inside?
Yeah,
What,
those
the
are dangerous
undead bit?
thoughts.
Sorry, one of you at a time?
Those are dangerous thoughts.
Well, it's
Sorry,
just...
I heard the sirens and I couldn't resist.
I think we'd better crack them open. Gotta see what's
Yes, I agree.
my move.
Alright, shall I do the honors, or anyone else want to... I'll just do it, that's okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think you'll be better at it.
Oh, this is bad. Like, I've handled corpses, it is different. This is dry. You just see the claws punch her in at the collarbones, and then he just fucking peels off the front of the torso, and it's mostly hollow. There is just this wad of powder and clumps near the sort of abdomen, but there is also the heart, which has been encased. It's like a strange sort of waxy casing, but it also reaches to the limbs and then down to the legs, like through it. It's like a webwork of this weird waxy, sort of pale yellowish substance that is linking the heart to these other areas.
I look to our scholars as if they might know what this is.
Do I?
No.
I don't know, do you?
No, this is way out of there. This is what the fuck.
And I promptly say, I don't know. It's probably rather rare for, Rain. She wants to pretend it's rare.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Cornelius must concur. This is indeed unknowable.
Does Cornelius say Cornelius must concur?
No.
Good.
But he is stroking his beard while he talks.
That's
Yes.
fine.
Both in character and in real life.
Right. Burn it? I'm feeling burn it.
Burning it sounds good.
Shouldn't be too hard. Basically kindling already.
And it is set ablaze. Well, it takes a bit of bringing in some kindling and actually throwing it into the cavity. But yeah, shit burns.
Zazzle's going to check the other, or just give them the quick prod with a stick and see if they're all, any of them are similar, or they actually...
There's a few puffs of body gas, just from their internal pressure being shifted, but they're all alive. Well, they were living sorts.
They're more orcish than paper
Yes,
bag.
they feel like orcs, dead corpse orcs.
What do you mean he's dead? He
Two of
just
them
said
could be
woo.
Jedi, it's hard to tell.
And yeah, I suppose that the Minotaurs and Orcs doesn't have anything of particular value on them.
Sort of. There's about 30 silver coins, but you have to straighten them out. The orcs themselves have
Right.
nothing of value on them.
Why do they seem so fond of bending these, I wonder?
Well, I mean, make it a bowl, easier to grab. We don't really care about how much strength we use on things.
Does Dazzle see something strange to the southeast, or is that actually not there?
That's
Oh,
actually just
it-
the symbol of the dude who made the map.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
It's like a compass or something.
There you go.
Okay, was just slightly worried that we're missing an Eldritch Horror down there.
No,
Oh yeah,
no.
don't
Not
never mind
there.
the Eldritch Horror. Yeah, let's dig down the hole to find the actual Eldritch Horror.
The moment
Okay,
Zarzul
Zazzle
and
rolls
Malgurn...
over with
Yeah, when you guys lock eyes on this tunnel entrance and see a little bit down into it, this is shit craftsmanship. This is fucking pathetic. This is amateur hour. There are no supporting
let's get
beams.
this ogre out of here so we can get down and sort this thing out.
Congrats helpfully lifts Zarzul with the ogre out of the hole with Malgurn's help. Because there's no way the kobold is helping. You're just a
He's
limbed
trying
handle.
his best.
He is all of about 30 pounds. He's not
I'll
shifting
give
that.
assistance.
Taking shits that weigh more than him.
That is the kobold position in life, yes. Most things have taken a shit larger than a kobold. As you head on down, there's no map. It's just a straight passage. Mostly going downwards. But there is something you quickly realize is there is soil, there is dirt, there is stone walling emerging along the roof and the right side. There is intentional construction in this hole.
Do we have any idea of how old it is? I look at Malgan.
Well,
Give me a second.
no, you get advantage. It's stonework.
Okay, that's. Hey, I'm on point today.
Every
okay?
one of
You're
these
a
is
dwarf.
not going into a fight.
Yeah, see, I'm using up all my good rolls on shit that doesn't help keep me
Yep,
alive.
you've got a 20 on your beard stroke, 2 on your histories. Perfect.
Because that's how probability works, kids.
You would put this... It's tough to really give an estimate. It's that old. This is not centuries. But then you walk a bit further and it is. Like, the stone itself is from different eras of construction. The more recessed and deeper into the wall it is, like the further away, basically, the older it is. But some of it is pretty recent in the case of maybe like a century, maybe 2 or 3. It varies a bit in that case in the most recent layers.
So it gets older the deeper we go, and it varies widely. Like
Who's the
Like-
main constructor? I'm asking Malgurn.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's just a nice little turn of accent there.
Yeah.
You'd say there was some dwarven hand in this? Definitely no elf, because elves don't use stone because they're fucking primitives.
oh, yeah, no, I wouldn't even mention elves. Ugh.
There's some shoddiness you'd attribute to humans. There's some tiny stones that you just say, well, maybe an elf put that in. Or maybe a gnome put that in, being a funny fucker. At the least, you could tell it's not straight dwarven construction, but there is elements of it in there.
So mostly dwarfs, except for that. That over there, I don't know what that is.
Is he pointing at the more shoddy work every time he says not
I figured he was pointing at you.
No, the small rocks you were talking about, the small
Yeah, he's
patches.
pointing at all of the odd bits and weirdness.
Yeah, except for that. I don't know
Anywhere
what
if,
that is.
anywhere if a pattern is slightly not good enough to placate someone with OCD.
Yeah.
This is crap. This is shit. This is gnome work. This is halfling.
Yeah, my ancestors
None of this is
aren't gonna
dwarven.
I'm not gonna blame my ancestors for this.
And then, after a little bit of walking, you feel you've probably gone down about 40 or so feet. You come to a small chamber. There's enough space for a couple of you to stand side by side before heavy set of doors that are just clumped in filth and mud, and more importantly, have looked like someone's been trying to beat them down. There's some solid impact on
Clearly,
these
whatever
big
there
doors.
was in here.
Zazzle's going to try and pull them open just to see how well stacked they are.
Sure.
This is gonna be funny.
You can help out if you want, Malgern.
Yeah, I'll when I see him going for it, I will assist. I was like, he's never gonna get that open.
The only
Yeah,
thing that
there's
really
a-
opens are the tendons between your fingers.
Okay.
The door itself is solid. But
Does-
in your flailing and you're trying to claw and get a purchase, you knock off a clump of dirt, and you can see something swirling on the surface that should not be on metal.
Ooh. I back away. That isn't right.
Once you back away, it becomes more of a swirl. It looked like it was coming into something recognizable for a moment. When you back away, it just goes into a pattern that keeps shifting slightly, like
And now I'm
ripples of
looking at
water.
Zarazul like, what's going on?
Zarzul, tell us.
Yeah,
There's something swirling there.
I think
This
he's been
is-
smoking again.
Rain goes to have a look at it.
Yeah, I don't know if I can believe Zarzul if he says something swirling, because I mean, he probably smells of weed, so.
As you approach it, Rain, it continues to stay in that strange, unrecognizable pattern. It doesn't alter at all like it did whenever Zarzul was near it.
Zarzul, can you come over here for a second?
I carefully move closer.
You can watch as he gets closer. It is forming slight patterns. And then the closer you get, it becomes more apparent it's forming into wording. And it's in Draconic.
Okay. Okay, I know Draconic.
Yes, you do.
The two of us.
Yes.
But do you know how to read?
Yeah.
I was supposed to say, is this one that I know too, or yes,
There's a
it is
big
something I
difference
know.
between
Yeah.
speaking and reading.
Yeah, basically, it states the phrase, the armor of a god.
Is there a word that's missing?
No, but if you pushed on it, which I assume you probably would, the metalwork is actually malleable. So you could write an answer in it.
The armor of
Faith?
I hope someone's looked at Scorn with a Wizard pronouncing faith as something useful.
God.
Well, it's what basically gives the god the power, I would believe.
Pupplesworth just turns
Yeah.
his owl head. um,
Hmm. The armor of a god.
feel like there's a word I'm looking for, but I can't think of it.
I was thinking faith, worship.
I mean,
How about the kobold?
Yeah.
Any thoughts? What about the devil?
Scales? Dragon gods have scales for armor.
Yeah, I was also thinking about if it had something to do with Bahamut.
Hmm.
I roll a religion.
There's nothing religious, like there's no iconography or anything on here. It's kind of a vague phrase.
Yeah, like
It's almost like there's other clues to pick up on.
Yeah.
do I see anything further down the wall? Let me
No.
see.
It is a very small little chamber.
Okay.
Hmm. You said
The
this was
metal-
dwarven craft, right?
Mostly, yeah.
Very
How
mangled.
about you approach the door alone? Maybe it provides different words for different races who helped construct the area.
All right. I assume Zarzul can look at it. I don't need a step stool, so.
I was stepping up to the door, or
Yeah, I'm gonna step up to the door now. Have a look. See if anything changes.
A phrase appears in Dwarvish, the ruler of our mountains. And ignore the
Alright,
amount in the
and,
lines, that's not letter by letter. That's just giving you an idea that there's a word to go after.
Yeah, no, I
All right, and the last would be you, Cornelius.
maybe. As I walk up.
just shoots a magic missile right in his face.
Fucking magic user, get the fuck out of here!
It just swirls for you, Cornelius.
Mhm.
So if Dragonkin, dwarf. And I do not know how. I do not know how much it, since it didn't have anything to do with rain. I do not know if her mixed heritage have something to do with it.
That also could be a thing.
Damn mutts.
Castellan might as well try out and see if it does anything. Should you get in contact with the door, might as well rule out all.
All right. Well, do have someone an idea of what it could be.
And in Infernal, it states our one true queen.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, obviously, the answer is Dane Ironfoot, King Under the Mountain. But
I was going to suggest gold.
that was what I was thinking as well.
that would make sense for all three. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Shall I scribe gold into the door?
go for it.
Unless one of the
Okay.
Rain or Cornelius have.
Yeah, the scholars are being pretty quiet.
I am never good at riddles. Might as well just.
I was on a different vein entirely, so I mean, I'm gonna let y'all.
I still love the statue puzzle whenever the Kiwi brothers just took half the pieces and sorted them out by themselves in silence.
Okay. Zazul's going to take a claw and scribe gold into the metal in Draconic.
The door cracks open.
Yay!
There is a horrible mustiness pushing through as fresh air finally goes down into it.
Go Team Dum Dum.
And then the room starts filling with gas.
Technically, yes. But that
yeah.
gas is a mixture of oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, and other things.
Yeah.
But yes, as it opens, you are hoping for a mother load. Because it's gold, so it's got to be gold, right? Instead,
No.
you see a mummified human figure. But it's
Oh.
been flensed and pieces removed. And where it should have, skin, hide, bones, there are lumps of clay that have been carved into it and pieced together like a scale coat. There is broken portions of bone and clay clumped around behind it.
Hmm.
And it's sitting on a simple little pedestal, which does have a drawer in it.
Okay. So I was going to open the drawer and have a look inside.
Give me a con save.
Yep.
Don't worry, it's not
Yep,
just you.
I made the right choice.
Oh dear.
Oh, hey.
You are fine, as is Kagratz. But there is still that... No. None of the rest of you have to roll.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's just the two scalies.
Huh, that would kind of make sense.
Oh.
Yeah.
There is a fragment of what looks like, in your estimate, a much bigger scale. Like something bigger than you. Something bigger than Kagratz, but this is a piece of it from the lines you can see. As you open it up, it is constantly flicking colors. Like it is flowing like water from one shade to the next. And the fragment itself is just no bigger than a gold coin.
Okay, using my huge knowledge of dragonhood, do I recognize what type of dragon this actually comes from? Would that be nature or history?
In this case, you get a feeling it doesn't come from any normal dragon, considering a dragon's color is kind of important to its characteristics.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what you can tell is big. Also, wow, these colors.
Shiny.
Is this something Rain has any idea of what the heck's going on?
Not a fucking clue.
I hold my little necklace up to it and see if there's any reaction from either.
Your symbol's getting very hot in your hand.
Okay. I pull it back.
It's glowing. Like, with heat.
Okay.
Not with holy light.
Who is the one true queen? Because if it's an armor of a god, I would assume that the queen they're referring to is the god, probably, right? I think this riddle has a bit more to it than just opening doors.
Potentially.
What a big brain squad I've got here.
You've got a cobalt.
Speaking
Just no one wants to add in,
Speaking
no one
of-
wants to put a foot in and start talking about it.
Also, point is did the kobold or the dragonborn inform anybody that something weird happened?
We don't know if anything weird happened. We overcame it.
Yeah,
Pass the play.
like they felt a little bit lightheaded, but, combat.
Yeah.
Bad weather. Lack of fresh food.
It's not like It's not like I took the scale and started hissing at everybody and saying my precious along those lines.
Well, you could. Have you picked it up yet? But yeah, certainly because it's Zarzul as well, the rest of you can all see over him to this glowing, constantly color shimmering scale fragment. The drawer itself doesn't look like it was meant to hold the entire thing or anything. There was probably one or two other objects in this drawer, or it was just to house this fragment. It's not a case of where, oh, this looks like it was just snapped, broken and then left in the drawer.
Well, the question is, if the door closes again and another answer is written, if something else changes in the room.
I'm wondering is, they wanted this, probably. What is it? Why did they want it?
Well, go ahead, Webkin.
If
I'll
they
be
wanted
ba-
it, we probably couldn't leave it here for them to get.
I will be back in one moment, so you
They
guys
might have-
continue to think on this.
Yeah, I have no fucking clue. I do not have enough knowledge about the D&D verse.
Well, I mean, brain saying Tiamat scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about.
But well, she is occupying a place in Avernus.
I mean, I guess that would explain why it's a scale that changes color constantly.
It would explain the queen.
Yeah, that was what got
But-
my brain going. Is I'm like, hold on, we're talking about gods and rulers and queens.
Hmm.
Though then the question is, why did it react to gold?
You mean the dragon folk?
Yeah, as in, why did the door open to the word gold if the answer is actually Tiamat?
Well, the armor of a god, a dragon's power is generally determined by how much gold. The ruler of our mountains, dwarves tend to be motivated by gold,
Mm-hmm.
and our one true queen. Devil deals usually involve gold.
All right.
And if it's just Tiamat, then yeah, you can just say, dragon greed, and it all lines up with all that. Not sure what skill does, but temple was constructed by a lot of people.
Hold on, Zarzul, which is your?
Amara. Or something like that.
Yeah.
That might also explain. Did you tell anybody the symbol got hot?
It was glowing red hot. I think somebody else might have noticed.
We were all looking
Oh,
over.
okay. So we could see. Okay.
Yeah. That I feel like it would have been obvious.
Is that also might play into things?
Well, very likely, as Tiamat did not have a lot of friendly other dragon gods.
Yes,
Yeah.
it would not,
And I'm
probably
back in
not
play.
be happy with the holy symbol of Bahamut.
Welcome back.
Thank you. How is the Mensa meeting going?
Well,
You know exactly how it's going.
oh, out of character, I think we've all determined it's Tiamat. Do the shifting scale and other small little notices.
There is also a desiccated mummy figure to inspect, and the room itself if you want to.
True.
Oh yeah, the mummy thing is something that Rain would go check out.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
There
does
it
he have
is.
pockets?
No.
But he is dead, so that's a
In a
big
way, he has
plus.
been made into pockets that are holding these clay scales.
Okay.
So you go inspect the corpse as usual, Rain?
Yep.
Be right back.
And while they're all trying to figure that stuff out, I don't know anything about this, but let's try a comedy roll. Yeah, that's just what I thought.
Well, you glance around. You decide to actually turn around and look at the doors you came through. You do see something on it. For you, it's written in Dwarvish.
Okay.
There are no dragons in Raxis.
So I'm assuming you guys made Tiamat vocal, or you guys are thinking about dragons. So I guess Rain's inspecting the mummies, so I'll tap Castalia and feel like, motion for her to turn around. There it says there aren't dragons here.
For you, it's written in Infernal.
That's a flat out lie. We already know there's a shadow dragon around here.
Well, yeah, but I mean, look at that. Yeah, and we both see it just written in different languages.
But how trustworthy is a door, really? Over the devil. I mean, are you going to trust a door over the devil? And it's the devil you know.
I know the door's lying.
Yeah.
We're all well aware that the door's lying. I'm just pointing out that
Well,
that's
certainly
doors
are.
normally don't do that.
Well, it's on the same shifting language, so
Rain,
no. I wonder if the walls say anything different.
Remember, Rain is looking at a mummy.
Yes.
yeah, I'm gonna tell her to quit playing around with that dead thing and take a look at this for a second.
She comes down, putting down her selfie stick.
She would be very salty and going, "Excuse me, I need to finish looking over this mummy."
But without a
can play
roll,
with your
you have
dead thing
ascertained
and-
one thing. All of the broken debris and stuff behind it, that's because this thing was mounted to have wings as well, but it's just bad construction.
Yeah, so it's definitely not made by dwarves. Okay.
Investigation.
Yep. Move along.
Assist with the
Move along.
investigation.
It's just as
I
you were
guess
about to get down to it to really check it through, Malgern speaks up, and that just completely put you out of the zone. Are you going to say you were helping Cornelius? Were you really going to help her look over something gross?
Yeah,
Yeah. Because this is interesting history. It's not just a corpse.
it belongs in a
And it
museum.
makes sense that the two scholars are traveling around looking at it together.
It sounds like he's snacking, so I just like to imagine that at this point Cornelius is just nibbling on some jerky while he's just gesturing at her where to look.
It's like that episode of Futurama. That son of a bitch! I
No,
was
no,
gonna
no,
eat that
no.
mummy.
Try there's something in the pelvis. Get it, yeah, get in real deep there. That's it. Have you looked in the mouth yet?
So the door says that. Is there any writing on the walls?
There is no writing on the walls. There is no symbology either. It is smooth stone.
How
yes.
about the floor?
Hang on. With a 16, though, you do sift around inside it. Well, you sift around looking, using the light cantrip on a pebble or something like that there in order to get a look inside the mouth, into the eye holes, really get an idea of what the fuck is going on with this. Until you just decide, I'm just going to pull a scale off and take a look. You flip it around and you see, while the top side of the scale is smooth, the underside, covered in symbols. Like we were talking as if this was written on like an A4 page. This is tiny symbols scrawled in deeply. Line after line after line.
What kind of symbols are they?
Well, they're kind of strange looking.
It seems to be a description of Paradise Lost.
It's a screenplay for a new version of The Room.
Oh, hang on. So,
Oh
Hang on.
no!
hang on. So, is it really difficult to actually read what's on the scale?
Yes.
I'd like to cast Enlarge on it.
I think it has to be a creature, doesn't it? Or can it be
No,
an object?
it's can also be an object.
Alright, you've got 1 minute to start reading. But yeah, I assume you
Divide
make
and
some
conquer.
room and carry this out of a room. But yeah, it is like you're good with languages. This is something you've studied for. This isn't like the runes you've seen carved into the people, although like you're seeing some similarities between one or two, but those are, those are symbols with a stamp on them. They are that thing. This is, you assume a language. This is a litany. This is a piece of writing of some sort. But you've not come across this kind of dialogue whatsoever.
Mm.
Like, you assume there's a sentence structure to it here?
Yeah, but it's not a syntax I'm familiar with.
Yeah, it's all guesswork. Okay, now for Castalia. As to the floor. The floor itself is tiled.
Alright.
But it is tiled in gold. But it is so dusty, so dirty, but it's taken a few sweeps of the foot to notice that there's actually a shine underneath it. Also, because it's a gold tile, it is pretty dented and scuffed and marred, because it's a terrible material to make that sort of stuff out of. But it does help you pick up on something. The pathway that people have been using for this room, it has been footsteps forward, and then footsteps walking backwards from the door.
They don't turn around.
No turning around,
No.
but also
Oh.
no deviation.
Hmm.
And there's quite deep depressions near to the statue for kneeling.
So it's a shrine, almost also a shrine, as well as a burial.
Probably a test of faith. Hmm.
We screwed up.
What?
Stop.
I mean, have, not so much. Are, yes.
I,
That's fair.
I kind of thought that there was. I believe it is probably more of a ritual sense that they've done this to show respect that you do not show your back to whoever that it is you're worshipping.
Never trust a god. They'll put a knife right between the shoulder blades, so it cunts.
Clearly.
Nothing
That's
personal, kid. It's
probable.
merely biblical. So, Castelli, would you like to roll an investigation or anything to do further inspection? Because right now you've just given a cursory glance to the room.
I would. I am going to investigate. And do it poorly.
Anyone that was intending to assist her.
Well, if you can.
Nope. The nerds are busy. You
Oh,
can't.
yeah, we're reading.
Yeah,
that
this
at
is
the
while you
moment,
were
yeah.
carrying away the giant scale to look
Okay.
at it.
Alright? With Zarzul's help.
These stone walls are too smooth. With how used all the rest of the place is and how it's fallen apart, these are completely smooth facades.
Hmm.
False walls. Wonder how well it'd stand up to hammer blows. Look at the two buff people.
It's just, I could take it down, yeah, it's just, he gestures at at the mummified corpse thing, the drawer, the doors, the ceiling. I'm just a little worried about,
Before we start breaking things, I look to Malgern. Could you look at the walls and see if they're, false walls?
I suppose I could. I mean, it should be pretty easy.
Yeah.
No roll because she's helping to guide you, but as you get your hands on it, and you're even taking off the gloves at this point to get a real good feel of the stone. This is bullshit. Like, you put a few fingers on it, you realize, no, you gotta get the gloves off and gotta go, what the fuck elf trickery is this? What is this shit?
Just take my gloves off, handbook, and say, hold these for a second. This is... Ugh.
You're like a safe cracker, you got your ear up against it now as you're just feeling along it, digging and scratching at it. Then you find something that, like, Castelia has real good eyes on this thing right now. Zarzul's at the proper level and all for it, but they didn't see shit, but you found it. Just underneath your dirty fingernails, you start to pry up, and there is a seam. It's a small little cabinet you open up. It is stone, but it is a thin plate of it that's been anchored.
Okay.
Inside you find a small, well, it's basically a mask. It goes across the eyes, covers the cheeks, and has horns that go up and then swoop back along the crown of the head.
I kind of pull out the mask, looking like a friend of yours.
As you touch it and lift it, the colors on it start to shift.
What color is it shifting to?
Constant colors.
Oh, constant. Okay.
Just constantly shifting.
Oh, on second thought, this might be more Zarzul's thing.
Shifting colors. Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, that's...
Certainly,
Someone light up my pipe.
well, it's certainly tied to the scale. But Congrats does make a good point as I look up.
It's also,
Is anybody else around me aside from Castalia?
I mean, I'm guessing it's you four in the room.
I guess, yeah, it's a pretty small room.
Yep.
I go to offer it to Zarzul, see if the color changes. If somebody, if something else happens when somebody else touches it.
I'm very interested in this shifting color.
Because
Nah,
it started shifting.
as long as
someone
contact is kept, it just continues to shift.
Okay, so it's not. Because I noticed the color started shifting when I touched it, so I said, okay. Well, that answers my question.
And
I
you
don't
give
think we're getting that
you
map
give another
back.
feel along the walls and all. You find one other mask on the opposite side. While the horns on the one you gave Zarzul curl upwards a little bit, these ones curl downwards a touch.
Does it do the same color shifting?
Yes.
Ooh, we have a set.
Is Zarzul going to want the set?
Well, he doesn't have two heads.
Yet. It's not hard to hire another
Shifting colors
kobold.
hard to work on it.
See, now I just imagine him wearing one on his face and one above his tail.
He just needs to hire a second kobold.
I mean, he's probably got more than... There's more than one kobold where he came from.
I hold up one of the masks and give a sharp whistle to our two scholars.
If we weren't having any luck, I would go over there to examine it.
Give me a religion check.
This
As
is
you
something
sp-
I can actually do.
As you spot these masks, and there is a haze
Don't
of recollection.
say that.
I'll let Cornelius have chipped in on this here one. Those masks look very similar, but not exactly, like ones owned by the Cult of the Dragon, who are generally known as being fucking morons who go up to dragons and convince them to become Dracoliches. What's their endgame in this? I don't actually know, because the Forgotten Realms never really established that part.
Something assy.
They just kind of do that, and we don't know why. Because they don't really last long enough.
They basically go up to dragons and go, "Yo, dog, you want to be a Draco Lich?"
Do you want to
on, that'd be
live
cool.
forever? And also,
yeah.
they've been known recently to have taken up a little bit of Tiamat worship, which was not
So
their
is
usual bag, surprisingly.
Is this the Cornelius end screen? He can't
Hold
achieve
on,
lichdom.
suddenly
He's
things
gonna
are
help
making a lot
dragons
of
achieve
sense.
lichdom.
This is making a lot of sense to Rain all of a sudden, because didn't...
Well, do tell.
Yeah, help us dum-dums out.
What was the religious symbols that the orc guy had that you mentioned looked weird?
His looked like he chewed up a baby and spat it out onto a string. Didn't look
But
very
somebody had
dragon
one-
style.
I thought
It
there
is
was
something
one
yours-
that had. I thought there was one that was a known religious symbol that got all screwed up.
Well,
That
there was Baphomet's symbol.
Yeah, that was like the first orc shaman.
And there were a few, like there were one or two group symbols, but they were defaced.
Okay, so basically, we're seeing dragon ones for some reason. We're seeing stuff. That one skeleton, or the one guy was undead-ish, which would align with. Okay.
Do you want a ball of red string?
No, I don't need a ball of red string because I don't actually have anything, but I just have ideas that I'm missing pieces, but I mean, I have ideas. I'm kind of wondering if the
This
fact.
isn't so much spitballing as much as looking on the wall.
It's just drooling. Let's be fucking fair here.
No, she's thinking about it, and she just kind of goes, "Okay." So if these are slightly altered versions of what were they called again?
The Cult of the
October.
Dragon.
Yeah.
So if these are somewhat similar to the Cult of the Dragon sometimes wear, and we've also got an undead problem around here. We saw an undead shaman. Or he wasn't. I don't know. Was he technically undead?
He wasn't bleeding when you cut him, and all his organs were a desiccated pile of shit. You'd say
Yeah,
there
it's
was
just-
some sort of necromantic fuckery going on there. If only you had someone to call on.
we do.
Yeah, but you didn't call on him.
Yeah, you haven't brought out Karina.
This is making me wonder if the huge necromantic presence that we've got here makes.
Well, if the Cult of the Dragon was about a bunch of cultists making a Draco Lich, and we have a lot of undead, that is a possibility.
I don't think it's actually them. Otherwise, they probably would have been able to get into here because they would know the answer. It's entirely possible that the reason that they wanted to get in here was because of the
They
link.
wanted to steal the ability to make Draco
Yes.
Liches.
I mean, to be fair, it wasn't a very secure password. Like, they hadn't updated it recently. It was just 4 symbols, no strange characters or numbers.
Orcs are dumb, thankfully. So I mean,
Orc, orc.
They
So
kept
that-
trying to writing violence, and it just didn't work.
Well, no, they didn't even know about the words. It was Zarzul who managed to scrape it off the door.
True. And there is no indication that it would actually become words for them. Because it didn't become anything for Cornelius Arain. Man, if we had a whole party of humans, we couldn't do this puzzle.
Yes. You would have come down to this hole and seen a big door you couldn't get open, and you would have bitched about it all the time. But that's what you would get for playing vanilla.
What if we all rolled a bunch of odd numbers on our ability scores, though? I mean, can you really fault us?
Yes. Those characters could have gotten killed at any time and replaced with a better one. So I can still put the blame on you guys for not dying quick enough.
I mean, we do still have one alive human in the party.
Yep.
How he hasn't been killed by his own fireball yet is beyond me.
Well, he's an invocation wizard.
Yeah. I can literally make it so I don't die from my own fireball.
Accidents happen.
Now, a stiff
And
breeze
he
or some
already
kid with a
died.
baseball bat and he's fucked.
okay, so that would explain somewhat gotten into Tiamat worshipping.
This will be a good time to be updating your notes. This will be a good time for the rest of you to start having notes.
Makes you think I don't have notes. I just often
I've
forget
known
I
you
have
for
them.
several years now. I interact with you on an almost daily basis. I know you don't have notes.
There are no dragons in Raxis, apparently.
We know that's a
We know
lie.
there are. Yeah. This is. We don't have all the pieces we need for this yet, but we. Feeling that once we get the rest of the pieces, this will fall into place real quick.
Well, it's definitely. It would explain what the orc armies are doing out here and what they're looking for. And it also gives us a general idea of what may be orchestrating everything.
Yeah.
Well, in any
It
case,
also
we should
explains how
probably
we have so many.
figure out a way to close this door again.
Well, did the undead Bishop Priesty man have anything on him? Anything of interest?
Well,
Hand went through him.
We got one of the scales off and enlarged it so it will be easier to kind of read, but I'm afraid it's not a language that I'm familiar with. It's some older dialect of some kind.
Want me to take a look at it?
Certainly. Hang on, let me just enlarge it once again so you can actually read it.
It's time for some speed reading.
Yeah,
Now.
you have 1 minute, go.
All right, I cast Comprehend Languages.
Yes. Congrats is giving a reassuring pat to the horns now and again. I did not type this entire fucking thing up, but you get the gist of this is a great litany giving huge praise to the chaotic and ever-flowing, to the immutable, to the ever-changing. There's a name that, well, you assume it's a name as it comes together bit by bit, of Azidahaka.
I fucking know that name.
But do you remember from where?
Not from the place you think it's from.
It's also a cultural thing as well. It is a mythological name.
Yeah. Because I've fought
RPG
it.
ripping off mythology? No.
Well,
Oh.
I mean, you've probably fought it too, Malgern. It's an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
In
It's
14.
also in an action game.
Yep.
It's basically a nemesis creature. But in this case, that's just the name. I am using it for its more intent. Anyway. But yes, it is a great constant praise to this Azidahaka. To its ever-changing form, to its gifts of change. And it is noted multiple times as a draconic being.
Yes, I have fought that in 14. I had to look it up. I was curious.
And yes, by the end of it, as you skim really fucking hard, like, some of the poetry is lost, you know. It's not quite as beautiful or evocative as it was probably meant, and some of the tempo was a bit strange, considering how the spell mangled it, but this is a pure tenets of worship for a draconic creature of pure chaos. Not chaotic evil, just chaos.
Yeah, I was going to say, I read it out like Heimskir from Whiterun. Just shouting it.
Do you?
Well,
I can.
Okay. While she's doing, when she starts really getting into it...
yeah, before she does that.
No, too late now. While she's yelling it out, the mummified statue starts to vibrate a bit. The scales start to clatter, and almost form like a backing track to what she's saying. Although she doesn't have the cadence and rhythm to it, so it goes off tempo now and again. But it has a steady musical flow It's awkward. It's like just simple clay clattering, but you can tell there's a melody there. That's all that happens. That and the 4d10 psychic damage, but we'll get to that afterwards.
Well then, does that answer a few questions?
Certainly does. I was about to suggest that I'm guessing that it should probably be recited with the masks on, and probably doing the rest of the ritual as well.
I'd like to object to that one.
I'm just saying, if whatever response was hoping to happening, I am not myself very inclined to put on dragon masks.
I'm just saying we shouldn't be enacting any kind of ritual for this sort of situation, is what I'm suggesting here. Can we all agree on that, please?
Of course.
I mean, I have no skin in this game, so
No, it is-
sure.
Well, it is curious, though, that it reacted at all. You would think there had to be a more complete ritual. Although I presume that it might be from what you informed us, Castelli, that we might want to be leaving here facing this person in front of us.
Agreed, that might be smart.
I mean, the three of you all just walked out earlier to look at the scale.
Oh, yeah, true.
Oh yeah, but we hadn't done the just summoned up a litany. But yeah, I don't know if there's much more else, because since we're not doing the ritual, I'm gonna assume. So people are gonna start putting their knives into the floor to start peeling off the gold, and I think we're probably done in here.
Indeed.
Once we get back to the wagon, I could probably try and see if there's something more to these masks.
Shall we take the scale with us?
I don't see why not. It's better than to leave it for what if the orc manages to smash down the door.
Oh, I don't think I should carry it. I don't want the necklace deciding to burn through my chest.
Well, I could carry it for you if you want.
That may be best. Maybe.
I reach out to take the scale from him, but we're not going to put it in the magical pockets just in case.
Oh, that's not important at all. Roll a con save. Because you just reached out and touched it.
So does Rain then take half damage regardless?
Are you holding
well, the
hands?
effect hasn't been determined yet. Who knows
Ow.
what could happen?
You feel...
Was conscious.
Why is Rain taking damage for it?
I don't know, I forgot. For some strange reason, I just...
I was making a joke because you were half elf.
No, it's just him touching it. Putting his
Yeah.
hands on it, unprotected. Yeah, you feel... Squibbly, I think, is the right sort of answer for it, Cornelius. There is a moment where you start to watch as your hand starts to float slowly downwards. Your skin's a lot drippier than it was before. You just watch as the bones start to flop out. By the way, the rest of you are all seeing this too.
Oh
Ugh.
dear.
As his hand just seems to be melting in contact with it.
Can I slap his hand to get him to drop it?
I'm going to pull him back and throw him away from it if I can.
Yes, you can do that.
I'm-
Now, here's a thing though. I want Zarzul and Castalia to roll initiative.
Okay. Five.
So Castalia goes in to slap his hand. Unfortunately, Zarzul has pulled him out of the way and put his face in direct laugh of Castalia's hand. So instead he gets a crack on the cheek. But the scale comes out of your hand and you watch as it's horribly slowly, you watch as your finger bones go back into the holes that they sort of just lop their way out of. You start to see your skin rise up again and reform. And you've taken 5 damage, and it hurts like hell, and you don't want to put anything in your hand for a while, or flex it. The skin feels horribly burnt. Like, even just a breath on it causes it to sting, but you look at it and it is fine. Now.
Yeah, I imagine I've been screaming in pain this whole time, and now it's just like...
Well worth it, yes.
Yeah. Right now it's just basically the same thing as if you just hit your hand or something. It's like you're just doing the...
Yeah, it's like you've had your hand on a hot plate for a second.
You know what? You keep it, Zarzul.
What do you mean? I'm not touching it.
Yeah, no one's touching that.
I thought he still had it in his hand.
Hell no, I've never touched the damn
No,
thing.
he left it in the drawer.
Oh, I thought he had it on him.
No, he just put his symbol towards it like a smart boy to check how unholy it was, and it was making
Okay,
his
so
holy
I-
symbol glow red.
I thought he said at some point that he was picking it up, so that's why I thought he had it.
Also, Cornelius' scream did not last quite as long as Droop's scream as he watched. But also, you're not just going, from your hand. You're also feeling that big red hand mark on your cheek. Because Castelli is wearing the gauntlets of Ogre String, don't forget.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt you, but that stings.
Yeah, the beard has not quite grown out yet to take the full blunt for the smack up to the side of the head.
Yeah, it's not in the ablative lair yet.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what that was gonna help, but I appreciate the effort.
Can we just take it out in the drawer and not actually touch it? Wrap it up in something? Maybe that'd work.
Yeah, definitely not have contact with it, or we could leave it here. We probably shouldn't, but we could.
No, I'd say probably take the drawer, but drape something over it. I don't know. I
Mr.
do
Grass
not
gets down
feel-
with a dagger and just flicks it to try and get it into a bag.
Why don't we try using Mage Hand?
Yeah, why didn't you try that, sir?
Because we're not aware that it was a dangerous artifact just yet.
I use Mage Hand to put it into a bag.
Give me an Arcana roll.
Oh, okay.
As the mage hand comes in contact with it, it starts to like there's a different color creeping through this slightly fluorescent hand. And you're smart enough to just cut the spell. You take one look
Well,
at that
then.
thing. No.
That's not a good sign.
The funny thing is, Cornelius, there wasn't any pain until you let go of it. For all the horrible things that were happening to your hand, it wasn't until the scale came away, you start to feel pain.
Hmm. You did mention that the guy that was buried in there had places on him replaced with clay, right?
Oh, it's in his case, it's like every bit of skin and all has been hollowed out, and then scales have been anchored in. Like he's properly covered in scales, as if draconic.
Ah, okay.
Some of his scales are small, some big, some as big as your head. Those are ones on the floor. They were meant for his wings. Too heavy. Bad construction.
Well, I'm definitely ready to leave.
But yeah, Congrats is able with dagger and small bags to get it back in the drawer.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, he gives a light sort of fling to his dagger. Just flicking wrist one side to the other as the blade just flops like hair, coming apart like fabric.
If that's what's the scale, what about the masks?
The masks have no ill effect from touching them.
Well, then I think it's obvious that we don't put them on until after we know what they do.
Hmm.
Yeah, we'll have to identify them.
Well,
they
at least we know, well, can venture a guess why they were doing what they're doing.
Could probably rip out this whole pedestal, but he's standing on it. I'm just thinking for as a container.
Hmm.
But
Not
even
exactly.
with this being so horrible, I don't really want to go being desecratious, but I also don't want to do this as he holds up his knife that is just like hair fibers of metal now flopping around.
Hmm. Well, I suppose if we can't actually move it, they would probably also be struggling to move it themselves. At least we have the masks.
Not
Right.
necessarily. Because if they were coming in here, they might know what this is and how to do something about it.
I would doubt it, considering they couldn't even figure out how to open the door.
That just means that whoever put it here is smarter than them, not necessarily that whatever it is we don't know about.
Hmm.
Well, it's either gonna be desecration or we leave it here.
Thing is, I'm not sure if something will happen if we do desecrate it.
Malkarn, Sazul, what is your...
I don't like leaving it behind, but I don't know that we've got much of a choice.
Is there a handle on the drawer?
Yes.
Can we break the handle off?
Yes.
Is that acceptable to everyone?
I mean, assuming that they can't get the...
Well, just make it really hard to get the scale.
Hmm.
Well, harder. Hmm.
Well, I'm up for that if that's the only choice we can see. I'm not sure that I want to start desecrating whatever this is in case it reacts badly to it.
Then we're probably going to have to try and close the hole off once we get up top.
Yeah.
Try and bury it.
Might be able to blow off some of the. Say we could tumble some of the rocks down to the hole.
Be a good idea.
It's pretty fun too.
No, it's safer. I prefer that.
Gonna lose about a day to it though. Well, the rest of the day.
And we are in a tight. And we are in a tight time schedule.
It's almost like you have to make choices that have lasting consequences one way or the other.
Hmm.
All right, then. Well, I suggest we. As much as I wanted to secure it better, I'm gonna have to prioritize the rescue over this.
Agreed. Rain,
These-
Zarzul, Malgern. Agreed?
The shits at the
Yeah.
back.
I'm just gonna shrug. Yeah. Sure.
Thanks for your contribution of fuck all. We're at a moral dilemma here. I shrug. I've contributed.
Yeah, I have.
Yes. No. I wonder what I want for dinner.
Exactly.
This probably
Apparently
has
just getting
something to do
grumpy
with
that it's taking
dragons.
so long.
All right, gonna be right back 1 second. But yeah, I'm all for
Moving
closing
on.
it as much as we can without much wasting of time, because rescue is priority.
Hmm.
The move Earth cantrip will be real handy right now.
I'm sorry, a what?
Move Earth.
Move Earth. Okay, move Earth cantrip. That's what I was like, what did he say? Okay.
Yes, you give it about an hour of just forcing in all the soil you can, just tumbling it down. If you want to cooperate with Kagrat's Malgern, you know, that bright shining beacon of heroism and sexiness, you could help cover it with a rock, a big rock. But are you willing to work together?
Did the door close when we left?
Yes, it slammed the fuck shut.
Okay, good. That's at least something.
What do you say, Malgern? Can you cooperate with Kagrat's?
Yeah, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Alright.
Thank
Raider
you.
still here?
I don't know, is he?
Raider.
Yeah, hold on. There was a short in my in my headset. What's up?
Yeah.
You gonna help?
Yeah, if you want to cooperate with, if you can cooperate with Kagrat's, you could drop a big rock over the entrance.
Yeah.
But can you agree to work with such a shining beacon of heroism and raw sexual magnetism?
Sometimes you just gotta do things you hate.
So that at least helps cover it up. The hole is no longer visible underneath all of this silica.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the speaker or what. Yeah, my headset just went out for like 30 seconds.
Oof. And then the party heads back to the carton onwards.
Hooray! We did it. We're heroes.
Should probably mark this down on the map.
Probably should.
That's for later.
We got dragon masks.
Do, do, do.
We got dragon masks, Sophie. We did it.
Shiny dragon masks. Ooh.
Well, let's find out what they do before people start putting them on.
Before she can even say that, Zarzul is wearing both of them somehow.
When I put things on without knowing what they do, yes.
I was gonna say, that sounds
It's like-
exactly like what you
So
would
there's
do.
your marker for what you just found.
Right.
I think. Hang on, I'm trying to remember what these.
Yes, the Technicolor pitchfork.
Yes. Probably should have marked the other things as well, because it's been weeks now, and I bet you don't recall any of them.
Well, some of them were the last known indication of orc camps and where there were more friendly camps.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to move it a little bit further. Because it has been a couple of days. For fuck's sake, everything's layered on each other. No. Damn it.
Damn it all.
It's too small to actually grab for moving. It only wants to resize. Okay, I can at least get Burnt Blight Camp out of the way. Yep, never mind. We'll save it's another marker from a different situation. Oh, there we go. Now I can grab it. There we go. It's all good. And
was, in
onwards the
fact,
party
not all
travels. It is pleasant but monotonous, and also a little bit cramped in the second wagon.
Mm.
But your feet aren't covered in muck. Enough precipitation helps get rid of all that. The rain has ceased, although it is still bitingly cold. It is just that quantity of cold where your limbs want to draw in on themselves.
Ugh.
You just want to ball up and shiver for a bit.
I had one of those nights earlier this week. It was terrible.
This is every day, currently.
Yeah.
You forget
been-
I'm a Floridian.
No, I
I
never
dropped
forget.
below 60. I panicked.
And the wind is pretty violent. It's actually causing the carriages to rock, despite the sheer amount of weight they are having to carry. Because the main wagon has Malgern and Kagratz in plate armor. That's quite a bit of weight.
Would I be in the same wagon as him? No, let's think about that for a minute.
The other wagon has the two hobgoblins.
Yeah, it's probably less awkward with Congrats. Right?
You either
Let's
face
be
up to being
real.
a shit or put up with being a shit.
I choose option. Yeah. Oh, yes, the lesser of two evils, starring Mel Gurn. Oh, fuck.
Heard further learned about banging and noises. The cat getting into a fight with the cat outside. Had to bring her inside.
Okay. All I hear is Arena voice in the distance.
I think Chloe found a friend.
Yeah,
Chloe
I
found the
definitely
friend
did.
outside.
Because I heard cats fighting, and I was like, those aren't my cats, but that sounds like a Chloe. Chloe.
Well, and now my didn't break my nail, but I jammed it, so now my under my fingernails bleeding.
Ooh. After some more travel, there is Nighttime. Probably time to just slow down, set up camp, relax. There's a couple of fires. One rampant, one actually contained within a camp. Seems like horsemen. Or they're of a deeper part of the woods to just sit in anonymity.
Might be worth going up to the camps. Figure out what's going to be up ahead.
You're just about to reach the... Well, it's not a crossroads, it's a T-junction, basically. So that's one vote for a course of action and a suggestion for one.
Horsemen are unlikely to be orcs, so that's probably safe.
Well, you can also hear some chattering in common from them. They didn't go deep into the woods to the cowering kind of got there.
And also, probably to warn them off, to keep an eye out for any blight.
It's at this point as well, Cornelius, you realize something. There was an ogre ballista back there.
Yeah, I did mention. No, I did mention it to. That during the break, I mentioned it to Barfast. Hang on, what was his name?
Yeah, but you left Bartrus watching the carriage.
Barfast.
He's probably fine.
Yeah, but it was during when we were talking about also what was happening to the
Ooh.
people we were cleaning up and so forth. So it just kind of got lost in the discussion.
All right, then. He's
I
got
did
one.
mention it. Did mention it to him.
Yeah, that's all right. He's got it then. He
Oh,
would have
okay.
been all over that.
Yeah, I was about to say, oh, well, we could tell him to, go get it. And he'd have a nice ranged weapon.
Which means I need to add another attack to Malgar and Sheet.
Yay, more shit.
Big shoot.
You got an ogre with the ballista now, and you just go. Eh.
No, I was happy. Yay.
Okay.
I don't know if it came across like that. Yeah, a weird choice of words on my part, I guess. It's like Bartrus gone clubbing, Bartrus gone shooting.
In this case, it's big Bartrus ballistics.
Oh yes, I love it.
So, what are you guys going to do? Are you going to mingle? Are you going to scope them out?
Just gotta pull up the wagon first. Let's kind of get an idea of what kind of people we're dealing with. I
Yeah.
think is a good idea.
Mhm.
See what you're talking about? Sounds like stealth, so don't look at me.
Not so much stealth, just kind of a.
To be fair, it's the horses that are required to do the stealth roll for this one.
That would be awkward.
It's not like we're disguising our approach. I would say it's just more like just roll it up and then kind of get an idea. Okay, what is the mood in the camp? Do a mood check, so to speak.
There we go.
That's a lot of damage.
Yes, you could ask Pio about that. It happened to her.
Yeah.
I was watching you put that all together because I was curious. I was like, oh.
Yes, the crit hurt. Oh,
Yeah. I need to find a use for this.
Just scope it out. It seems to be about just 7 dudes. Maybe women among them. It's hard to tell. Mainly silhouettes. And man, the rain is coming down now.
No, rain's right here, man.
Yeah, I suggest that we probably pack up with them.
Yeah. As you trundle on in, there's a waft of something being cooked. Possibly vegetables. Might be a meat content. There's also the scent of caffeine.
Oh,
One of them rising from the campfire to watch as you guys all approach. He's especially leaning his head past you guys to the secondary carriage that has Bartress sort of just pushing it from behind. He waves you in, though. But it takes a while. Like, you're almost past him by the time his arm comes up to wave you in. It's only when you get to right deep into the camp that someone finally just walks up to talk to you.
Hello there.
All right, now. That's a fair assortment you've got going on now.
I can only agree with you on that one. Do you mind if we camp up with you?
No problems. Can't feed you, mind. You can have a cuppa, but that's about it.
We're good.
Thank
We
you.
have our own stuff.
That's good. Don't mean any ill by it. It's just we got what we got.
You know, we understand.
And definitely ain't got enough for that big one. I've seen him around town. Didn't think anyone was going to put the bill for it. Then you think, Cornelius, what an amazing deal you got because they were so loyal to Malgar and the hero.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Do they look to be affiliated with either of the knights? Are we seeing...
You're not seeing blue or pink, you're just seeing dudes in armor and levers.
Okay, we found another mystery group. Excellent.
Rayflin? My name is Rayflin. You?
Cornelius Sense.
Oh, a fancy man with two names. And a coastal accent.
That it is.
You're a Norver boy. Well, I mean, not as North as, say, 10 Towns or anything, but, you're no Balders.
That I cannot say no.
Yeah, I knew it. Oh,
You seem to be familiar with. Sounds like you're quite worldly familiar.
well, I do a bit of my work up and down there most of the time. I'm actually a bit more further southerly, but I haven't been there in years. I've done a lot of work around the coast. There's this wee town, Fandolin, nice wee place. Rocked up there about half a year ago or so. Oh, it was a terrible little place line. It was like under threat by all these fuckers in red cloaks and all. But me and my boys, we saw them right off.
Well then,
Did you now?
Oh, aye. Never mind. I mostly did it pro bono and all, but that's what we're not doing here now. This is proper paid work. It's orc hunting we're on.
Well, sounds like it was good to hear.
I can tell you all about more if you want. But, like I said, didn't do that one for free. I was just wondering, you got anything a bit more interesting than just a cup of coffee? I mean, I'm willing to trade one of them. Oh man, you're a fancy lad there. You got your own dancing girl. We didn't bring any entertainment with us. Does she put on a show, or is it just a private thing?
Be careful on that one. Hello, I am Zach.
He takes your hand
He-
and most of your arm. He's just as big,
This
like
is
you.
normal.
Like he's about twice the size of Cornelius in breadth. Like this is a big buff dude, but he's also got that sort of sheen of pudge on him, of just a dude who does a lot of physical labor. Bit of stubble,
Yeah.
roughly shaved head. Right there, wee one. Don't see many of your type up on top of the surface, although saw them in town, no.
Oh yes, there are a lot of us in town.
Bit weird, mind. But come on all down. Let's get a measure of some of you. Oh, I must be a dwarf. He's the same height as when he stood up.
Yes, this would be our companion in Malgarn.
How about you, lad? As he puts the big meaty hand out.
Yeah, I'm Malgern.
Ah, you got a good grip on you. Good grip. Good. So, what about your fine ladies there?
And I kind of look at him. I'm giving him this weird look when he says "fine ladies." Like, do you know? I look at Cornelius. He doesn't know. He does.
This would be.
Rain
cleric.
gives a very polite wave and just says, I'm Rain. Pleasure to meet you.
It might be. We'll see how the evening progresses. He gives a wink.
Aww.
She raises an eyebrow.
Oh, I think you know.
Of course she knows. The same approach worked on her last time.
Different context and different place.
A fancier place.
Yeah.
She knows he came from money, so she was interested. How shallow, how shallow.
Yeah, Cornelius, how shallow. You're only with Patience because she's white.
I wonder if Pio is being quiet because she's been permanently traumatized now towards introductions.
No, I started to say something, but I was kind of glossed over. So
Sorry.
Yeah, well, say it now, please.
Sorry. Castalia.
You can see him mouthing out your name for a second. Right, I've got that one. Sorted.
All right.
Oh, that's actually a lad beside you. Congrats, yeah. He's a
Yes.
big bairn.
Mm-hmm.
You got yourself a right old bodyguard there, Corna.
That be you, Cornelius.
Oh, I thought he was talking about to you about the.
No, he nudged you and called you Cornan.
Cornelius. Yes.
Ah, don't be like that, Lias. Come on, we're all blokes around the fire. Say you what, we'll give you we've got a spare pot of coffee. We'll trade that for your dancing girl for a night.
Does anybody say anything immediately?
I just kind of imagine Congrats grips his maul a little tightly.
Oh wait, no, I wouldn't. Malgren wouldn't speak up because he's talking about Castalia. If he wants Rain for a pot of coffee, fuck yeah. I mean,
You can
it's
have her
not
for a pot of
me,
coffee and I'll
but
throw in
take
2
it.
gold coins as well.
Yeah,
You can keep her.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not booze, but hey, I mean, beggars can't be choosers.
I think Cornelius is gonna wait to see if Castalia's gonna do anything. Let her answer for herself.
Yeah.
Congrats is a little tenser, but he's also going to let you say your own answer to it.
No.
I believe you have the ladies' answer.
Oh, that's some big bugbear hairy balls. Oh, well. How about yourself, Cornan? Do you know a little two-step? Come on, I'll tell you all about it. He tries to put the arm over your shoulder.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I was hoping you'd roll performance.
I could not understand a single word you were saying. You just gave us.
He was possessed temporarily.
Oh, you've never met Malgern's patron, huh?
No way.
Time for the big reveal.
Even he's disappointed in him.
I got
Isn't
tired
this
of
called
being
the
shit,
fuck?
so I went for help. Problem is, she just looks at me and says, "Man, you suck."
You know, usually I make a big contract, but in this case, just put your X. I'll fill it in later. Boom, you've got magic powers. Get out, please.
Yeah.
And then she
come
just
on.
looks at it
Well,
and
you're
thinks,
both,
I don't really need to keep this one for my folio. I'll file it under a spike.
Need this one. I just need this one to fill out the as
Yeah.
an intern. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the fill out her varied hiring. She doesn't usually do dwarfs, but she took one on.
As a diversity hire.
I'll trade Shield of Faith for Eldritch Blast. That's fair.
What were you saying, Zarzul?
Oh, we both know his patron is a sword that says fucking dwarf.
That's the problem. His patron is the fucking dwarf. It's very hard to get him in a non-awkward time.
One of these days, Talon just starts talking.
He just walks in and says, "Hello, oh, there's someone under that beard. Okay, I will come back later." But yeah, he tries to put the arm over to lead you towards the fire, Cornelius.
Yeah, I guess I'll just let him lead because it would be much more humiliating to actually try and resist.
And he's starting to talk now about when they rucked up in Phandalin.
Mm-hmm.
He shows you his amazing sword Claw. To its credit, it does look magical. Like it's shiny at least. Yeah, we took on this horrible out now. Did you see that play they had on the town?
Yes, I'm quite familiar with it.
Whole thing, pack of lies. Now, that's just from me to you. You don't have to tell it around town or anything and disappoint the wee kids and all, but that full work of fiction. Me and my boys, we took on a lot of that. Did it better too as well. Like that wizard, what a piece of fucking joke that was. We didn't have any of that shit going on. We just had our blades, we had our cunning, didn't we, boys? And there's a bit of a rousing yell from them. And he keeps telling you all of the details, and it's mainly just him and his lads charged in, sword swinging, full descriptive, gory combat, and then they went to the next step and the next step in exactly the same way. He has to stop himself at one point. He talks about how they rescued this mother and child, because he's about to go into the gory combat and says, those ones we actually just led back to their wee farm out in town.
Oh, God. You had to mention that part, huh?
Mind you, they got one part right, of course. That big buff girl. Aye, she was with us. I'm guessing she's the one who probably told all, got us rewritten and all, because we had a bit of a bad split. She were no good for me, I have to admit that there. I had to break it off at one point. Like, we had this beautiful, passionate thing going, but by the end of it, it's just, I had to move on. You know what it's like with those types that just don't know how to operate in the town. You can't take them anywhere.
Oh, yes, I am certainly aware of that.
As he looks at Malgern, I assume.
No more Sassuol.
And he's, they're getting caught up and now we're all joining in, so it's loud enough for some of the rest of you to hear it as well.
And Snigger?
But the coffee's nice. It's shared around. Because luckily, since you're, nodding and tolerating, he feels generous enough to share.
Mm. Yeah, because for how much ever bullshit it is of them going through this is not worse than watching the play.
Both fictional accounts, way more impressive than the reality.
Nobody needs to know. Nobody needs.
No one needs to know that Cornelius is also Kelvin.
And the one who actually made sure that we did not fucking die to the black spider.
That's another thing too. Like, they talk about how they beat Glassstaff. You guys may have taken a job from him.
Yeah.
I'm a little fuzzy on the details.
But you can also tell, like, if Kendra had actually met this guy, he'd be snapped in half. Of what little you remember of her, she didn't take shit. Which is probably why she abandoned the group, to be fair.
Oof.
But yeah, it's a pleasant enough little evening. they don't really ask you a lot about yourselves. It's very much their night to show off.
Yeah.
It's sociable
the-
enough, it's
This
friendly.
is fine.
It's just it's just two of you know that they're lying through their teeth completely.
Yeah, but I mean, our little secret.
The rest of you just know about the play. And you know that they did all this, but maybe they were lying about that as well.
Yeah, I'm just gonna instead of during the whole discussion, just gonna ask about if they were heading away or to Raxis.
Oh, let me get my... Have you got one? I think I might have misplaced mine or lost it in a wee bit or something. Do you have a map on you?
Ah, yes.
Oh, here we go. It's falling a wee bit now. Yeah, so we're heading around to this wee bit as he taps Korriban Village. Now, apparently, that one, not a lot of orcs, but some of those weird tribal folk, you know, the savages and all we're going to put down. But I figure we cut them down, we keep it secure for a wee bit. I figure, you know, we can harry them a wee bit, do a bit of hit and run. I mean, your lot will be helpful there as well if you fancied. Under the command of such heroes of us and all. He's smiling at this bit at least, you know, he's being humble in this respect that this is a joke. But, you know, I figure we can harry them a wee bit, thin them down piece by piece and keep the village, and then, you know, it's one thing to do a wee battle and all, but if you take a bit of a map and keep that secure and all, like, that's big praise out there. That could get us a nice little bit of armour, that could get us a nice wee war chest, you know what I'm saying?
Certainly can. Unfortunately, we are on a time-sensitive mission ourselves.
Oh, right. Fancy then. Is it a
If
good,
it
good wee
wasn't,
score?
Well, it gotta be hard to say at the moment. It is mostly it's mostly a rescue mission.
Oh? Now, yeah, are we talking high up, low down? Because, I mean, this village will still be here in a few days' time.
Well, it is hard. It is hard to say. At the moment, we are trying to figure out where the prisoners would be kept. So at the moment, we are trying to see from where they were captured, and then figure out from there.
Oh, right, a wee bit in peace like that, aye. Well, I mean... It's tempting. It doesn't look like it's tempted him at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it was also.
think we're
That's
gonna
why
get
I
our
was worded it.
I think
That
we're
was
going to
also
go
why
for a
I deliberately
village.
worded it that way. I didn't want it to be tempting to him. I do not trust these people.
Because, you know, you look at Korriban, you think, that's probably a wee piddly farming village, but... Raflin Village. Now that has some potential in it. And I think that's a fair reward for freeing the place, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Get myself a wee townhouse. I could get that big chain that the mayors have. Then again, it'd be probably nice to be a knight. You know, get some proper position up there. Oh, hard to say which way I'd go. I mean, I like the pink lads. They seem a cut above the blues. The blues are just running about all over the fucking place right now. How about you? You pick the side.
Road. Oh, did he ask something while I was asking something?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
what'd you
asking
say?
if you picked a side.
No. We are undecided at the moment.
Well, it's always good to hedge your bets, You never know what's quite going to come out of this one.
Hmm.
The way I see it, though, the pink have a right idea. Like, they're hiring us on now. Some would say they're not doing their duty of protecting people, but if you think about it another way, they're making sure there's lots of people doing the deeds that need done. And we're the doers of deeds that need done. So, By hiring us out, I think that's more sensible than having all their sons and daughters charging out like the Blues. Then again, like, with the Blues charging out, that means there's not as many coming home, and then there's nice open spots. Like, a few of these families are going to be fucking dead soon enough, which means I hereby bequeath in lieu of a fuck ton of gold, Rathlin's Rangers a knighthood. I mean, you boys will probably get my second one, but I'll take my first just for myself. There's a few. He's fucking full of it again. So, you know, fair duties and all that there.
Certainly. Have you been hearing any... Have you encountered anyone who has any reports about what might be up ahead?
I've seen a few of cut-ups. You know, the wagons full of the ones that have just come back. I don't know, don't really get time to talk to them and all. Like, we were mostly up northwards. Let me see your map bit again. We're up by the Ballock Estate. That place has mostly been emptied out. Apart from that, it's been pretty quiet. I mean, we've seen a load of action. But I couldn't pin you down or tell you where it came from. Mostly we just charge through, we put them down, and we keep on riding, isn't that right, boys? It's a full-on enthusiastic cheer here. So, sorry about that, but I mean, I can tell you they're up in the north. Less of them now, thanks to us. And I mean, pretty much everywhere from... So he puts his big, dirty finger down on where you guys are, you know, round about here, and then just sweeps it across. I mean, all of this is Orc territory by now, I'd say.
Yes, we were told as much as well when we left.
Ah, well. Getting away beddy time here.
Yeah, I believe it is so. I have to go back and make camp, but thank you very much for the caffeine
Yeah, no problem,
Yeah.
Cornyn.
and the thrilling tale.
Ah, well, you know, they'll be writing that one for in Neverwinter, you know. It'll be passed around as a legend. Well, I mean, it would have been if it weren't for this fucking lie of a show. Still not thunder. I fucking dare, they.
Somehow this actually comforted Cornelius somewhat. His exploits are not going to be known as such just from that show alone, maybe.
And now you're back in your nice little own grouping.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anyone from the other camp that suddenly noticed that a fucking hut just disappeared from him anywhere.
You do hear from a couple of them. Just a
did you
smattering
do
of
a-
applause.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you were actually making that applause, or it was just someone who happened to put down a cup or anything. It's just a little clap.
That was my cat walking across the keyboard, I think. She hit spacebar.
Any conversation within the party itself?
Where do you think we should head?
And of course, it has to be made before the hut appears because there's too many of you for the hut now.
Well, there's a little porch, so Cornelius can stand outside, of course.
This Drew conjures up a paper fan to waft at him.
Droop. Sweaty.
Well, my idea was always we were heading towards where we were told they had their battle. It'll probably be the easiest. It'll probably be the most sensible idea of where they would, which direction they would have gone. No, I guess we could also just ask our two new passengers if they have any idea of which direction to head. Where they
Probably
were
the
before they
smartest then,
got
yeah.
separated. But ideally, of course, I would hope that we encounter some of the other forces and they could take them with them. I'm not exactly thrilled with the idea of bringing injured people into danger.
There's the magic issue too.
Yeah,
That's
but
what.
if they stay back with the wagon, at least then
Yeah, but like how far away do we keep them?
Yeah.
far enough away that we can still use magic.
And how far away is that?
Yeah.
If I recall, we didn't have issues when they were at the wagon and we were under the doohickey.
That was about a 10-minute walk, 15 minutes. So always just keep them outside of a mile. Also, don't be too rude, but you didn't seem to take much issue with them claiming for you guys.
I mean, what exactly would be the point of it?
Well, it's... Do you really want someone taking credit for your deeds? You guys did the work. You saved that town.
Yeah, but the
Let's,
entire
let's
story
be
is also made
realistic.
up.
Yeah, and
story
everybody
people-
knows. Sorry.
The story that people have heard is made up. Is almost entirely made up anyway. Theirs is not much more different.
I suppose it just sort of rankles a bit, Not a fan of people claiming for what they haven't done.
Mm.
The
True,
thing
but
is, they're not going to get very far on that. They might think they are, but all they're going to do is talk themselves into a situation that they can't get out of.
Yeah, I suppose. Anyway, sorry. Didn't mean to derail. Go ahead.
Well, it's all right.
So yeah, we're gonna check out that spot.
well, hopefully there's some idea of which direction they've gone, but I do really hope that we do encounter other friendly forces that could take them back. Not to disperse the reputation of the gentleman that we are sharing camp with right now, but I'm not exactly going to entrust them with sick care, especially since they are also heading towards another place to fight.
Oh, it's pretty much settled in, yeah.
I just really hope there is some clue. And it's not gone entirely too cold. No, I do hope that we may, at the very least, be able to capture someone. Maybe be able to capture some orc nearby who could tell us further.
Yeah, I kind of forgot to do that, didn't we?
I do believe we had a bit bigger priority at the moment than taking prisoners.
A little ironic to say, as he looks over at the three prisoners you saved. Well, the two.
Yeah.
I know it's a different context. It's just, literally. All right, then I'm up for it.
Well, I suppose it's settled then. Head towards the last known location. But we gotta keep our eyes out now. Slowly gotta get Harry into this situation. We'll now be truly in enemy territory.
And
I think
so,
we'll live.
Hmm?
Just saying, I think we'll live.
everyone ignores that and splits off to go to bed. Because no one in the party's fucking talking.
Malgurn think lot today. Malgurn tired.
Well, it's more
Adventures
one
is-
of those. It's more one of those sentences that you can't really, you
Yeah.
don't really want to answer.
I'll show you.
Do you really want to argue? No, we won't live.
Oh, I thought you.
That's
I
what I
thought
mean.
you
That's
more
what he'd
like-
say in response. I'll show you.
I thought you
yeah.
were more like. I thought it was more like being negative about if we make it there. Well, I'm certain we'll make some headway, but eyes open people from now on.
And
If you
so
didn't have
various
your eyes open before, I'll be very upset.
various tents are laid out. The cabin filled. Are you going to trust the Rangers? Or are you going to set out some patrols?
Well, people, are you?
I can take my boys and we can send it.
Oh,
makes-
good,
that
good.
makes what,
So
4 of us?
Malgurn and Yolman and Frenig?
Yeah. Because I won't be in the hut, so
Well, you can be.
Yeah.
I can
It's just that
help out
Cornelius
watch.
can't leave it.
Yeah, but I can take the mercenaries. We can set up some patrols.
Of course, sir, we're happy to do a watch shift.
Mhm.
Anyone else?
I can keep an eye out from the hut. I won't
How
leave you in the
brave.
hut.
How brave.
So that's all. Take a watch.
Will anyone take one with them? Like, this is basically a chance to interact, because there's a lot of you guys. There's not going to be an attack.
Yeah.
I say that on the fact that there could be an attack. But I'm giving you the option that there might not be.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically, when Cornelius gets up for his watch, I could technically do a watch with Cornelius. Because the hut would go kaput.
She just keeps walking in and out, appraising him of the situation. It's very irritating.
What are you talking about? She'd be from the inside. She'd be watching from the inside.
Both nerds staring out the window. The orc jock in the shadows holding a carton of eggs.
Well, basically, Cornelius is just going to be there for company because he can't see shit outside the hut anyway.
A goblin freezing on his approach, toilet paper in hand, fluttering. And Bartress hunched at the front door with a bag of dog shit. And a huge torch pressed against it.
And every time Cornelius, after stamping out, going, "Damn it, again, who could it possibly be?"
As he looks down at the gigantic footprints leading towards and from. And the fact that Bartress is partially on fire. As he tried to snuff out the torch and didn't work quick enough. But then he just wonders, why didn't I just use Mage Hand? It's twice today.
Oh well, Drew, prestidigitation.
But yeah, anyone you want to have a nighttime chatter with. Express some thoughts or theories.
Well, I'm guessing Castalia is going to do it with.
As he blanks on the name.
What are you trying to say? Huh?
Yeah, what are you saying, Scotch?
Yeah, congrats. Yeah, I was just. For some reason, I was just fucking.
But other people are certainly welcome to come join us.
And maybe even talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is talking?
I'm just saying, it's a very
Interacting.
open thing they've got going on right now. Anyone could walk up and talk to them.
Absolutely disgusting. Moral degradation right there.
As someone from high society, you
Cornelius has the same expression as Clint Eastwood dealing with Oddball. This fucking hippie commune, what is this shit? But no, anyone can talk to Castalia. Because she has a boyfriend does not mean you no longer socialize with her. That's just real life. In a fantasy game, she can still be with her friends and acquaintances like you lot. Specifically acquaintances.
I was gonna.
That's the
Okay,
point.
yeah, you did say acquaintances. Like friends is a, but yeah, you said acquaintances. Cool. Yeah, no, you covered it. You said the thing.
Or we just skip the morning and fuck it all.
I think mostly in Cornelius' case, it's just that with. He feels like for some reason there's a weird vibe between him and Congrats, and he's not sure why.
Oh, you're not sure. How do you think Malgern feels?
I just love it. The two blokes at the party are intimidated by the alpha male.
No, it's not so much intimidated. It's just that every conversation with Congrats has always ended up in stilted silence. They are so far apart. There's no animosity, but it's just no one knows what the fuck to talk to the other one about.
How does the nerd talk to his friend's boyfriend who's got a fucking motorcycle?
Yeah.
This dude's got tattoos. I haven't even been outdoors yet. But hey, I stump him on C+. He has no idea. But yes, he doesn't have a monopoly on Castalia's time. You can all talk to her.
That implies that we talked to her before.
Yes, it does.
Right now, it's more that. It's also become quite awkward because of due to when Congrats got involved, all the things that Cornelius did mention to Castalia.
Be careful what you tell him. I told him everything. Oh.
Yeah.
And you, Orbinson, be careful which women you bring back home to my home.
That's mostly we don't want a black hole to open up, destroying the entire city. Okay, have fun.
What a terrible thing to call his hobgoblin girlfriend. So, Malgern. They are standing at attention, Yolman and Frenig, ready for your orders.
God damn it.
You chose this.
You,
I know, and
yes, you specifically
guys-
chose this.
While you guys were doing all that, I was trying to think. I was just like, I'm still gonna it.
So you came up with it and then just have nothing.
Yeah. I thought I would have time.
Oh, make the plan. What's the plan?
My brain no worky.
Hey, I opened I made the plan by opening the floor up to ideas. That's the plan.
Yeah. No, but
I have
there's
I
three
have
of us.
10% of a plan.
So, sorry, I draw like a little diagram. It's kind of like a half triangle. It's like there's three of us. I go this way, you go this way, and you go this way.
It just reminds me of when you're in school and you got that one person who contributes by writing the title.
Yeah, that's me.
That's everyone I've grouped with. Every fucking time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Group projects are cancer. There, I said it. Anyway, so I'm drawing.
I had a dude
Trying-
who suggested we write down ideas, tear them up on the slips of paper, and then run with our hands loosely open so that some ideas would fall out and others stay in. And that's what we'll do our project on.
It's a very basic plan, but he's doing his best to make it sound like official. As like, there's two hobgoblins and me, so it's like, all right, you're gonna go that way, and cover this line. Just keep going back, and you're gonna cover this, and then I'll cover this. If anybody hears anything, this is the signal. And
There's no way those fucking hobs will get into our perimeter. Shit.
Yeah.
No, I meant orcs. Force of habit. From when I killed most of your guys.
Any questions?
No, sir. We're happy to follow your commands.
Let's get to it.
May our night be blessed with glorious combat.
And he's fading. He's fading like, yeah, sounds great. More enthusiastically, of course, but you can tell he's not like. He's like, oh shit! I was hoping nothing would happen on this watch.
Give me a perception check.
Gotta open my sheet back up real quick. Yeah, I'm just super nervous. Like, oh fuck.
You also realize that by putting them all on the far points in the patrols, like no one's really in eye contact with each other throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
You somehow managed to set up the perimeter at 62 feet. So that you're all outside of each other's dark vision.
I may have overcompensated. Oh.
You like deep down, you know it's Bartrage's fault because he didn't put his tent in quite into the perimeter. Like, it's a big tent. That really screws up it. And then you want the symmetry from a triangle sides. It just threw it all off.
I just picture him sitting outside his tent on his ballista. I'm helping.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's another thing I should add onto your sheet, but, well, you can add it in your other resources bit. He currently has 15 bolts.
15 volts, okay. Yeah, I'll throw it in.
Which is a large amount, but he doesn't have much else to carry, apart from all of his gear, which is huge, and a massive supply of rations. He basically unwraps your guys' ones, and eats them like a biscuit. The whole thing in one go. By which I mean an actual biscuit, not your fucked up muffin thing. But while you are out of sight and out of contact with them, by the end of the patrol, all three of you meet up, and you all seem intact.
Good night's work. Let's go get some rest.
As you're walking back along the hut, though, you do see wet footprints leading up to the window, and then away.
Oh, no.
Hold a minute.
You also notice that all of your patrols had crossed over this track.
I look left. I look right. I don't say anything. I keep moving.
So, patrol number 2. Rain and Cornelius? Castalian Zarzul? Castalian Rain? Cornelius and Zarzul?
I gotta let him have that one because I'm not gonna call them out
I thought it
for
was
fear of
decided
being
that
called
Cornelius would have to be last because,
Well, he can just sit in and call out.
yeah.
Like, he contributes nothing to it, but he's awake to keep you company.
out. Yeah.
And since he decides the occupants at the start, that means, like, in Castalia's case, you wouldn't be able to come in.
Yeah, sorry, but Castalia and Congrats are not in this house. They will not come in this house. I refuse to listen to whatever sounds they make in this hut. Sleeping
That
outside.
sounds like jealousy, cornhole.
No, this sounds like me want to have a night's peace.
A bit of column A, bit of column B.
Devil may cry? Yes, cry out.
Oh no.
Remember, he slept in the room next to her.
Just be glad you don't know Draconic for Who's Your Daddy. What, no response?
Anyway,
Nah, there's nothing like that. It's just, sounds like a fight.
I just look over at Droop. You think she's winning?
She's saying yes a lot, I guess. Wow, this is round 5. That's really exhausting.
They don't even use a bell.
How do they know when they're done with a round? Anyway.
But yeah, I'm guessing since no one else has taken it, yeah, I guess it could be a Cornelius and Rain.
Time for the nerds to talk.
But you know that's a bad idea.
Well, it might be a good chance to enunciate your theories again. Maybe connect some dots or bounce them around.
Cornelius, do you have any opinions on what's going on?
I gotta admit that the whole, when it comes to religious rituals and such, I'm a little bit lost.
Mm. Haven't run into anything in your study, not just necessarily about the religious rituals, but just in general?
Oh yes,
Well,
that's something I should point out actually. To the two of you, the well-learned, the read, the storied, never come across the name Azita Haka. That has
That's
never
not
come up in any of your texts. Even the weird forbidden shit that Rain was all into as Karina.
Yeah.
But it does sound like it's a name that's worth giving a donation to the church to go check some of the books.
True, yes. Which is very strange, because you'd think that, you'd at least hear about this to a degree.
Well, considering how long they said they had been since the last been dragons around here. Anything related to that?
There are
With
no
the-
dragons in Raxis.
It will probably be hard to find anyone who still knows about it.
Roll intelligence, Cornelius. Because I'm sure he's forgotten the player. Cornelius has had that exact phrase said to him a couple of times in the past.
Which phrase?
There are no
Sorry.
dragons in Raxis.
Yeah.
Just pointing that out.
Yeah, but the Braden pointed out as well. I heard the others talked about it. And that's also why I said that. So, if there's been no dragon in Raxus,
Do you think it's because they all got turned into whatever it is? They all got lichified and...
I mean, technically that would make them non-draconic creatures, because then they become undead. So, for a pedantic nerd, yes, there would be no dragons in Raxis. But obviously, if it's a Dracolich, you're going to say, that's a fucking dragon. It's just not a fresh one.
Ah, so it's the opening of Neverwinter, the MMO. She's got a Dracolich.
All of a sudden, Zazel's feeling very, very afraid because he remembers where one of that saying came from, and if it's related that they're all in the cult together, oh dear.
well, with no dragons being in Raxus, of course, it also depends on when did that phrase come up. How old is the phrase? Is it 400 years old, 300 years old? Or was it after her mom defeated the dragon? Or sent it running at the very least?
No, he defeated the dragon.
But it is at least worth jotting it down and taking a look at it once we get back to Raxus. Taking a look through the record.
Do you remember who some of the people who said that phrase were?
That I do not. That is way too long ago. Other than what you have mentioned.
Coming up with the one of the priests in the priest sector. possibly reasonably high up in this chain?
Yes, he said it.
Oh yeah, that was the guy who mentioned that there wasn't a whole lot of people who was worshipping the Bahamut.
No, apparently they found a different one to worship.
Oh goody.
But in any case,
Zarzul,
That's
you're
the code
asleep.
phrase for the
yeah, I was about to say. But in any case, Cornelius does not know this because this is Azul theorizing.
He actually gets more lucid when he's awake when he's asleep. His sleep talking becomes very coherent. Well, give us a perception check and we can end this. Unless there's more to converse about.
Well, that's us. So how are you doing right now, Rain? After your whole life story, also the hidden parts got revealed to everyone else.
I mean, to be perfectly fair, kind of been that way for a while. I've given up on hiding my entire life story. Y'all have seen half of it.
You stop
Correction,
mid-sentence with that as you look above Cornelius's head to where there's a window, and there's a pair of butt cheeks planted firmly against the window.
I just kind of point.
Turn around and look.
That's an anus.
What color is it?
I didn't know that mattered to you, but it's just... It's
is it a human looking?
Yes, it is human.
Okay.
It looks rosier than Rafflin's skin tone. It does a little bit of a wibble, and then they detach from the window, and you can see a figure run back to the other camp.
I sent a firebolt missing, but gonna be near him.
Oh, none of your shit goes outside the cabin, remember?
Oh yeah, I have to step out. I can't start sticking now.
What you can do is prestidigitate to make the ass marks go away on the window.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. The hut goes away the next day.
Yeah.
Well, at least I feel it's vindicating my decision to not leave the wounded people with them.
I believe the correct phrase would be 2-year-olds.
Well, I think that might be an insult to 2-year-olds.
There's a sigh from Nedry. I'm gonna miss doing that. You know, running away.
You might still be able to. Don't sell yourself short.
Oh, actually, I was trying to do that as a joke. Sorry. You know, taking my weakness and turning it into a strength. I heard that kind of bollocks from the priest before. Henig's really bad at cards. That's kind of all I've got to contribute. I'm sorry. But I couldn't sleep right now.
It's all right. How are you holding up?
Hang on. I was working on this one when we were writing. I've never been this sad while being legless. Haha. Yeah, because legless is usually meaning drunk.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you for the translation because I was not aware of that phrase.
No, it's fine. Man. What an ass.
Guess we can certainly agree on that.
Yeah, sorry for
Bit of a
interrupting.
different context, though.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's no interrupting.
So, You get a bit of a past?
Understatement.
Oh, okay. I will not say anything else then.
Good idea.
I'll shuffle off a bit further away here so I can get a bit of Z's.
Sorry for waking you up there.
No problem, no problem.
You should probably be getting some quiet anyway. I believe our watch is nearing the end. I have no
Hopefully.
idea how long we've been doing this at this point.
Yeah. Then the final watch.
This is the third watch.
Yeah, but you've only got 2 people left. I mean, Bartress can handle the last watch.
Okay.
Along with congrats. So do you want to have a creepy dragon creature tap at your tent, Castalia?
Sure.
It'd be nice for Zargel to have someone to talk to. Normally he does his watches alone.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. Yes.
Can you skip half your watch?
Hmm?
From the huge dragonborn with his arms around the devil. Asking if she could skip half her watch.
Well, I have to do my duty.
Oh, you used that. Alright. Can't complain.
There'll be other nights, don't worry.
We're on back, hot stuff.
Mm.
And as you get out, he just falls over and takes the entirety of the bottom of the tent up. So now you've swapped the huge dragon for a tiny dragon.
Alzazu, you're our expert on dragons. What do you make of the old Azi Dahaka thing?
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Hmm.
It's very strange. That was a... But, yes. I don't know what to make of this.
To be fair, it's a good thing for
wrong
your...
going on here.
Yeah. To be fair, it's a good thing for your people, because if a kobold tribe know a dragon, it tends to be as sir, or madam, or please don't eat me.
Oh, great evil one, please spare us.
Please give us
We
more
will do
tasks
your
and let us
bidding,
sacrifice for your great well-being. Don't eat me.
So what you're telling me is Bahamut is a primal. Okay, cool.
Well, no, good dragons don't normally bother with minions. They have things called paladins they can send off to places.
Hmm. I do wonder what those masks do. I wonder if they'll be like the scale.
Are they magical?
Well, they shift colors like the scale.
Yeah, I'd say along the trip you would have had a chance to do it.
Yeah, I was pretty sure they were magical when they started changing colors.
They do not come up as magical through detect magic or identify.
Just have an enchantment on them.
Enchantment?
Well, there are also spells which can completely obscure a magic item's nature.
There it is.
Yeah.
Enchantment.
As was it Njolzur's mystical aura.
Hmm. I suppose we'll have to bite the bullet and actually see.
And now is a perfect time while everyone else is asleep.
No.
No, because then you'll hear ah.
My
As-
face
No.
is melting.
It'll be
You see
more
it.
like everyone's asleep, automatic critical hit.
Yes, as a matter of fact.
As they both walk around going hookah shaka, hookah, hookah, hookah shaka.
Well, the problem is, all they can do is just dent the side of the hut.
I can't stop this feeling.
You think we'll be in time, Zarzul?
And this is. I hope we find some form of closure, one way or another. But
I think
this
we
is a
will.
very-
It's just- Just hope we get in time to save her.
I just wish we could save more.
It's about time. Cornelius got a girlfriend after all.
Apparently, he
that-
already has
Why
one.
is that apparently such an important storyline?
It's just a joke, but she has position.
Yeah.
Well, we can't save everyone, Zarzul, but we'll certainly try.
Yep.
I mean, so far, not too bad a run.
Yeah.
You're 1 for 2 out of rescue situations. Like Nedry's camp,
Could
it's
be
a little bit
worse.
of a wash.
Yeah.
Hey, we managed to save some people out of the slum area.
No, I'm just going on these two current situations. Like, you saved these hostages, but getting Bartress to just pull Nedry, I'm docking you marks for bad handling there. This is like-
If you wanted me to try and use my strength to cut his leg off, that would have gone really badly as well.
You never know, the crit's within you. And you can throw down a perception check.
Do you want to handle this one?
There's some numbers. About 10.
They, pardon me. They are indeed.
Yep.
And you fairly tell no one came back to once again press their arse against Cornelius's love hut.
Love Shack, baby, Love Shack.
The night was clear. Although also, nothing really ventured near. Like, you were hoping for some sort of wild animal maybe to have a chatter, but the noise of that lot, the big presents you've all got, Bartress, just in general him, none of that happened. But you've got up to half your hit dice back, you've got all your spell slots back, and all your HP. And Rain is no longer
Yay.
exhausted.
Which is what I'm very happy about.
But
Don't you want to be reminded every time you have to do a strength check against the Pufflesworth in a dire situation?
No.
Ah, weird.
And the party are about to kick off in transit again. The Rafflin Rangers are also packing up and heading along their path. And we've hit the 3-hour
road
mark,
again.
so it is time to end the session. For once, not on a cliffhanger.
Yay.
Such enthusiasm.
To be fair, you probably would have got to a second fight if it hadn't been for how long it took Big Brains to think about the scales.
Look, I'm trying my hardest here.
No, it's good that you guys fought about it. It is good. And hopefully it's intriguing. Because that's the whole point of putting in mystery stuff and plot.
Yeah.
But yes. For now, we will end the stream because I don't want to keep you guys up too long.